And this is what you need to understand about your retirement savings. You are in partnership with the IRS, and they're the voting member. They are the voting member. They can change the rules. They did it with the Secure Act. They're probably going to do it again. And so our job as fiduciaries, treating our money as if it were yours and we were in a similar situation, our job is to position you in such a way that we can play the chess game while they're simply playing checkers. Right? We want to be able to make the most moves, the most impactful decisions that we can that give you the best probability of success on your financial journey. So Grant's going to break down required minimum distributions, what they are, what they mean, and what you should be considering.
100%. And Joe, I think an analogy that always makes me laugh, but it couldn't be truer to the situation, is when it comes to required minimum distributions and tax deferral money in general, I just see the ostrich with its head in the sand. Right? It just, when they came out with the Secure Act and said 72, everyone was celebrating, right? Like, woo, we did it. And we were too, but not for the same reasons they were, right? We got more opportunity for planning. We got an extended planning deadline, but people said people looked at that and said, well, I don't have to pull my head out of the sand. And I think what you just said earlier is so important to understand. There is a distribution strategy for you. Now, are you going to be the one in control, or are you going to let Congress and the IRS be in control? Or, for some people, even worse, are you going to let your beneficiaries be in control? So, again, when you're looking at this required minimum distribution, essentially what happens is, for those of us that were deferring money, meaning we were putting money in 401ks, IRAs, and we were letting the tax can just get kicked down the road, right? It felt good. And you think, wait a second, why was I kicking the can down the road? Well, it's because when you were working, you were taking this money, putting it in this 401k plan. There was no Roth option for some, or they weren't aware that it was there, and it lowered your taxable income today. It felt good. I think all of you know Joe's analogy, right? You're choosing to eat cake over broccoli. And trust me, I mean, you guys can probably see the top half of my body, and the lower half's just even bigger. I mean, I love me some cake, right? I do like my sweets. And so we were doing this. We were just ingesting all this cake for all this time. Then we get to retirement, or we're getting close from that preservation stage of finance, right? And we see this balance on the sheet, right? We look at our statement, we go, whoa, Joe Grant, I crossed $1 million. Or Joe Grant, I crossed 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. And all of a sudden, this statement takes on a life of its own. You don't want to touch it. And then, not even Joe or myself or the rest of the planning team that is with you, not even us, we're not the ones saying, hey, it's time to take the money out. The IRS comes knocking. Hey, you're 72. Remember all that money we let you defer? Remember that cake you got to eat? Well, bariatric surgery time. Money's coming out. And here's the worst case, folks. Here's what happens. Every year you age, the IRS takes more. And every year that we grow the money in the account, the IRS takes more. It's a double-edged sword. And so for those of us that have our head in the sand, let's stick it out. Let's pull our head out of the sand and go, wait a second. How can I take this chess game that I've been kind of keeping myself away from for so long and start playing it appropriately? Because age 72, they're coming. They're coming for it, Joe.
They're coming hard.
They're coming hard, right? What is that? The redcoats are coming, right? The IRS is coming. The IRS is coming.